Hello and welcome to White Men Can't Pod. I'm your host Ryan. I'm here with a man named Bill Cashin.
Who cares? This podcast is a rat with wings.
Oh, hey, we just started.
Did you guys adopt his medicine yet?
No.
Sorry.
Okay. We're also here with another man who has a catchphrase he uses every week. It's Wally Foley.
Feel the rhythm, feel the rhyme. Get on up, it's podcast time.
Did you feed the dog the medicine?
I did not feed the
Okay.
dog.
I also did not feed
Okay.
any dog medicine.
Okay. We are doing Field of Dreams tonight. Iowa farmer Ray Kinsella is inspired by a voice he can't ignore to pursue a dream he can hardly believe. Supported by his wife, though, Ray begins a quest of turning his ordinary cornfield into a place where dreams do come true. How did you first see Field of Dreams? Let's start with you, Wally.
I'm 90% sure that the first time I saw this was through Netflix, through the mail.
Oh,
Oh.
interesting.
Netflix through the mail. Pretty sure it was the first time I
So
saw
like 2020?
No.
Oh, that's,
Probably
that's not how
like
people watch movies anymore.
2013, 14.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bill?
I honestly don't know, like most weeks, but this was one I've definitely seen a lot. I've seen it a couple of times probably on, my guess is VHS
Okay.
at home. And then I've definitely watched it in parts on TV many times.
Okay. I'm like both of you. I've seen parts of it on TV, but I never actually sat down and watched the entire thing until I got it from Netflix to the mail.
Interesting.
Really?
Yes. Rachel's like, hey, you've never seen the whole thing all the way through? And I was like, I don't know if I have. And I certainly did not.
I'm pretty sure that
Certainly
we
had
had
not.
the VHS at home.
Certainly had not. But man, is this a good movie.
It is. It wasn't
Something about
it didn't
Kevin
hit as hard as I
Costner-
thought it was going
Kevin
to.
Costner in baseball movies just really gets me.
Yeah,
Gets
it's
me.
true.
All right, Bill, you are taking us through
Yeah.
Field of Dreams. You are going to bring us through the eBay war at some point when you find it applicable.
Uh-huh.
There's not a
Got a
segment.
place in mind?
Is a segment to be named later completely done, though?
I guess so. I don't know. I guess.
Rest in peace to a segment to be named later?
Oh, no.
Is it over?
That was
It never-
like, that was our driver.
It never got named.
I never got named. That's why I just
somebody
petered
told me the funniest bit you ever did on the podcast was never naming a segment to be named later. For over 400 episodes, you never came up with a name. It was always to be named later. And now it's dead. All right. Anyway,
that's sad.
take us through this movie.
Okay. Well, first, I have the box office game for you. I don't know if you've looked this up, Ryan.
Oh, I have it. Yeah.
So I have it here.
You have it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I have it. So Wally has to guess by himself.
Wally?
Okay.
I forgot.
Um,
I looked it up just now.
can I get the
I'm not going to cheat.
Do you have the budget, Ryan?
yeah, the budget? That's what I was.
I also have that.
I do not have the budget. I
Okay.
just have the box office.
We'll start there.
Okay, we gotta guess the budget.
I can guess
Yeah.
the budget because I don't know. What
All right. Ryan will guess the budget, and then you guess the...
All right,
the
yeah.
box
you Go
office.
ahead, guess the budget.
Okay, it's just a baseball field. There's really nothing to it, but Kevin Costner probably cost a lot.
They had to
James-
build the baseball field.
James Earl Jones
presumably.
probably cost a lot.
Yeah.
Ray Liotta.
Ray Liotta's young, so he's probably not too expensive. Give me.
This is after.
Give me 20,
Goodfellas, though,
20
isn't it?
million.
A little
it's
high.
It's before Goodfellas.
It's
A
before
little bit high on 20 million.
Goodfellas came out in 94. This is 89.
Oh wow. Okay.
So this is like early Ray Liotta. I said 20, so that's
Yep.
high.
You're a little high.
So 15.
15 million.
Okay.
Okay. And
I-
10 of that went to those two actors.
Yep.
Probably.
Damn.
I'm just guessing.
So box office, we're gonna say. We'll say 45 mil.
It's higher than that.
Really?
It's made some solid money.
Yeah, apparently.
84.4 million box office.
Wow.
Made some good money.
Yeah.
Made some good money.
I'm surprised.
20 million internationally, which is kind of weird. Surprising that
20
they
million
made
international?
That much internationally.
Yeah, baseball
64 domestic, 20 international. Only 500,000 in its opening weekend.
I mean, I guess in like
So it
South
must have been
America and
out
Central
for
America,
it must have
baseball's a
been
big
in
thing.
theaters for a long fucking time, I'm guessing.
It had to
It
have
might
been.
have been, yeah.
I could see this hanging around for a So we start with Kevin Costner talking about his dad. He grew up loving baseball until the Black Sox broke his heart when they cheated and it ruined the beautiful game. His father then moved to New York and adopted the Yankees. So he says and then his mother passed away.
Mm-hmm.
So he said, my dad liked the Yankees, so of course I rooted for the Dodgers.
That's how I became a Cowboys fan.
Yeah.
Yeah. My dad was a Giants fan, so I became a Cowboys fan.
Wow.
I mostly followed my dad's teams. Bruins, Giants. I think yeah. Yeah, I guess I followed my dad's teams. Red Sox was his team because of his mom.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so he said they left. They knocked down Ebbets Field, so me and my dad had to find something else to argue about, and we did. So when it came time, I went to college as far away as I could get, and I went to Berkeley. And then he says, like, essentially I went to California and got really into the 60s. But he met his wife. They fell in love. So she convinced him to move to Iowa, her hometown. So they talk about this, and it's a real life place because it's where they have like a field and stuff now. Dyersville, Iowa, which brings us to the next game. The population of Dyersville, Iowa.
yes.
Population game.
Population game makes a
all right.
return. All right.
Dyersville, Iowa.
Dyers.
2020 census. I've got numbers, and I'll give you a hint. It's
2020.
up since 2000.
Okay.
This is the Field of Dreams game.
Yeah.
You
You want to go first?
I'll go with 11,000 people.
Okay.
I think that's way too high. I think it's only like 3,000.
Wow, you win the population game.
Wow.
As of 2020, Dyersville, Iowa, 4,477 people.
Ooh.
It's a northwest corner, a little tiny place in Iowa.
But it's got this movie.
It's got this movie.
And
North,
it's
east,
heaven.
or west? You said
Or is it
northeast.
Iowa?
Northeast corner?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's heaven. Or is it Iowa?
I don't know.
Trick question. Same thing. Where were we? Oh, yes, we're at the very beginning of the movie.
Still at the beginning of the movie.
So Annie, his wife, convinces him to buy their own farm. So he and his wife and their young daughter, Karen, now have a farm in Iowa, and he's got to figure out how to farm because he never was a farmer. So essentially the setup to this is he's sad that he didn't have a very good relationship with his dad, and now he's a farmer in Iowa.
Mm-hmm.
So we very quickly go into the cornfield where he's just walking around. I don't know that he's even doing farm stuff. He just seems to be wandering through the cornfield.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure
He's a
farmers
bad
don't
farmer.
just go and dig up one stalk of corn at a time.
He's a bad farmer.
He doesn't know what he's doing.
He's walking through the cornfield and he hears a voice say, perhaps the quote of the movie because it's the one that everyone knows, "If you build it, he will come." Which, do you guys know who did this voice?
No.
No idea.
Ed
did
Harris did the voice.
Ed Harris?
Ed Harris is the voice. Even though I think in the credits it says voice himself. Ed Harris is credited with being the voice. in
This
this movie.
happened to you. This reaction is so not.
No.
It's
Believable.
so low key to like, what the
He's like,
fuck
oh,
is happening?
So I guess I'm just hearing stuff. All right. That's pretty
all right.
cool.
Hey,
Yeah.
hey, wife.
You
Just
hear
hearing
it?
voices. You hear that?
And the next day he goes into town and he's like, "Hey, do farmers ever hear voices in the fields?" And they're like, "Are you hearing voices?"
No, I'm not. Nope.
Nope, totally not.
Not me.
So I just want to know what I'm doing wrong, that I'm not hearing them. And they're all like, Ray's hearing voices."
God.
But he continues to hear it. He's in his house in bed at night and he hears it again.
Mm-hmm.
And then he has like a vision of a baseball field in the middle of his cornfield. And he says to his wife, "Hey, this farm we just bought, I want to tear up the fields and make a baseball field." And she's like, "You're an idiot." And he's like, "But I really want to." And she says, "Okay. If you feel you got to do it, I support you." Which either makes her a superstar or a crazy person.
Just a little of both, probably.
So he builds a field, and it appears he does it in about 2 days, even though I think it's supposed to represent like a season. I don't know.
Yeah.
And all the other farmers are just gathering around, be like, "Look at this idiot plowing his corn before it's ready.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's gonna go bankrupt."
Could have just waited till
Yeah, to the end of it.
the end of its crop. And
You
then
you gotta build it now. The ghost told me to.
the
So he
ghost
builds
tells
it-
him to build it.
Puts up lights, which I didn't think was part of the
Yeah,
thing.
that was a lot. That's a little much.
Why are you?
and then
why do you
leaves
need
them on every night to see what's happening.
I guess that's why, to see if the ghost comes out.
So he builds this thing, and then he watches every day, and nothing happens.
For a while. Like, he could have let that corn mature.
Yeah.
Because isn't it snowing at one point and he's looking out the window?
Yep. Yep. It goes all winter. Next spring, he's still feeling sad, and his brother-in-law and I believe his mother and father-in-law as well
Yes.
come over to be like, "Hey, can you not make our wife, or I'm sorry, make our sister
daughter.
/ daughter and our niece
Yeah.
/ grandkid
poor?
poor? Can you please sell this?" And his brother-in-law is like, "I can get you a good deal on this, but you have to sell it. This baseball field is dumb. It will not work." And while they're having the argument, Karen comes in and says, "Daddy, there's a stranger on your lawn." And he just like leaves to go. And
Like, oh, okay, I'll go talk to the guy.
actually, this is after they've left. It's just the family's there. So he goes out, and Shoeless Joe Jackson is standing in the field. He recognizes him right away because apparently Shoeless Joe Jackson looks just like Ray Liotta.
Also, Shoeless Joe Jackson was his father's favorite player.
Yes, and that's who he, in his vision, he knows if I build this baseball field, it's going to bring Shoeless Joe here because and while he's building, he's talking to his daughter, and she's like, he took the money from the Black Sox scandal. He
Right.
did take the money, but he hit 300 and something. He hit the only home run in the World Series. He was easily the best player. Like, I don't know how you could ever say he threw the World Series.
Yeah.
And so she basically he says like he was old and beaten up, and like he just wants a place to play again, basically. But that's going to bring up very quickly here our eBay war
Ooh.
Okay.
for Ray Liotta as Shoeless Joe Jackson. Where is the button? There we go.
I like how this movie has a slight connection to Goodfellas. Just a slight. My favorite thing about Ray Liotta and Goodfellas has happened sort of in this movie at some point,
Okay.
which I guess I could talk
Yeah,
about
you
it
have
now.
to tell me when we get there.
It's in Goodfellas when he makes fun of somebody and does that laugh.
Oh yeah.
That's my favorite thing. That he's like, he does that here when he makes fun of Ty Cobb, and he's like, Ty Cobb wanted to
Oh,
play,
yeah.
but he's a fucking dick. He does
Which
the laugh.
It's like the rat laugh.
Yeah.
I love that because Ty Cobb was.
Right.
He
Yeah.
was one of the best players to ever play baseball, but he also was a jerk to everyone
right.
and was
Right.
wildly racist.
Yeah, right, right.
So I love
like
that.
how they even don't want to play with him.
But in real
Which is
life,
funny.
these
They
two
were
were
friends.
friends.
Yeah.
There's even a story that after Shoeless Joe was out of baseball, Ty Cobb like found him working in like a liquor store down south, and he like they didn't talk. So he's like,
Jesus,
Joe, yeah, like what? Do you not recognize me? And he was like, well, yeah, of course I recognize you. I just didn't think anyone wanted to recognize me.
Yeah.
So this is a card.
This is a card. Okay, now I picked this mostly so that I could read the subscription to you because I love it.
Okay.
So I'll just give you the hint that there are some clues to this value in what I'm about to read you.
Okay.
But mostly this is hilarious to me. So this is a
It's
a baseball card of Shoeless Joe, except it says Ray Liotta.
yeah, which is weird.
Yes, it says it's got White Sox and it says Ray Liotta outfield White Sox.
Ray Liotta playing the outfield.
But this is a picture of him, of Ray Liotta.
Yeah, it is Ray Liotta
Okay. As just
as Shoeless Joe.
okay.
But it doesn't say Field of
I
Dreams.
thought you meant like it was.
It makes it look like he's playing for the White Sox.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Also, it's the new White Sox logo, not
Yes.
the old one.
Yeah.
can I give you the description here?
Yes.
Please.
Free combined shipping, buy one or 100 for the same price. Includes Canada too. This is an ACO card. If you do not know what a custom card is, please buy from someone else. These cards are the same size as a normal card, but not as thick. If you want a thick card, then buy from someone else. If you're spelled incorrectly. If you're going to display your card in a top loader, why does it matter how thick it is? It will look great. Cards are made on 140 LB cardstock.
Oh my!
That's it. That's the whole
That's the
description.
whole description.
It's a berating. It's not a description.
2 times he says,
If you want
buy
thicker
from
cards,
someone else.
buy from someone else. Okay, so this guy prints these himself. So this is probably worth about $5.
Is that your official bet?
Yeah,
Okay. Ryan starts bidding at $5.
$5, and might have gone over.
Well, let's see. He said buy 1 or 100, all the same price.
Yeah,
What
so
is
no
that?
discount.
Yeah.
No discount if you buy 100,
There's
apparently.
no discount,
But he can sell you 100 of them.
He can ship all 100 for the same price. Is that what he's trying to
I
say?
think he means, like, regardless of how many you order, this is the price. I think. I don't know. That's my guess.
Okay. This is a guy printing it in his house on cardstock.
I'll say $10.
So you say 5.
I say 5.
You say 10.
Yeah.
We're both over.
You're both over.
99 cents.
$1. Oh, wow.
What the
He
fuck?
just burned you
That was,
hard.
that was not gentleman.
That was not a gentleman
That
thing
was
to
a,
do.
that was a shoeless Joe Jackson
You
move.
got it perfectly last
Well,
time.
Ryan,
That was
you
a
did get it
shoeless
perfectly last time.
Joe
Don't
Jackson
even.
move.
He did not get it perfectly
did not.
twice. Okay.
Price US dollars $3.45. But for $100, or for you can get 100 of them for $345. Same price.
Why? Why is that even in there?
I don't know. I don't know why any of this is. There was a couple other items I was looking at, and then when I read this description, I laughed and said, "Yep, this is the one for me."
God. I'm going to be rich.
You could also
You
get
sell these Ray Liotta cards that I print off my printer.
you can get a John Kinsella, his father, baseball card,
Oh, great.
or you could buy an old
He's a Yankee.
timey
He's a Yankee,
White
right?
Sox jersey.
Kinsella was a Yankee in the movie,
in
right?
the movie.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, he was wearing a Yankee jersey. I don't think he actually ever played for the Yankees.
So is that so? If I get the
I don't know.
Mighty Ducks jersey, you gonna get that?
Get the Ray Liotta card.
The
If it goes on a
Kinsella
top
Yankee
loader, why
jersey.
does it matter how thick it is? Can we interview this guy? I'd pay $3.49 to interview this guy.
Yeah.
Why? Why are you doing this? Why are you so mad at thickness?
And if everyone's mad at you for thickness, why don't you just get the right card stock?
Just get thicker paper.
And instead of $3.45, charge $3.55. No one will care.
Oh, Lord.
So he meets Shoeless Joe. And they start playing baseball together. He's
Costner's not good.
no, he's like, all right, I'll hit you. And he like is terrible at hitting. And Shoeless Joe's just kind of staring him down.
He's playing baseball with a ghost.
Yeah. And the guy's just staring at him like, what are you doing? And then he hits a couple pop flies to him. And he's like, hey, can you pitch? And Kevin Costner's like, okay, yeah, I could do it. And he throws him a few that aren't great. But this is perhaps my favorite line of the whole movie.
Oh, Quote Mountain early.
Can you hit my?
No, before that, he says, don't we need a catcher? And Shoeless Joe says, not if you get it near the plate, we don't.
That was a good one. That was a good one.
So then he's throwing a couple. He goes, hey, see if you can hit my curveball.
Yeah,
And
that.
Shoeless Joe smokes it right back at him and like knocks him over.
Which, yes.
Yeah.
It was Ray Liotta had not played baseball, but this was a legitimate line drive right up the
Oh, he actually
This
hit
really happened. And then
Yeah.
Kevin Costner, because he's a good actor, just like went with it.
Costner's
stayed in
the
character.
best.
But that
Was
really
he
happened.
a good actor?
He was over the top in this.
I like him in this. I think he's fine.
I like him in general.
He's
over
incredible
the top in this.
in other movies.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So he
He's
comes down.
fine.
He meets the family.
He's a hippie.
And his daughter asks, "Are you a ghost?" And he's like, "Well, do you think I'm a ghost?" And it's very. This is the first time. Like, how much do these players know as to what's going on?
Yeah.
Because he doesn't say he's a ghost, but he doesn't say he's not. And then they invite him into the house, and
He can't.
he takes like one step like to the gravel, which I don't know where there's gravel anywhere near a baseball field, but
Right. We don't really see
he
gravel
goes to
again.
step off, and he goes, I don't think I can."
Yeah.
And so he just ends up going back into the corn. He disappears as he walks on the corner. Like, well, that was cool.
I just met a ghost.
And then he's walking away. He's like, hey, there are 8 of us. Like, can I bring some other people? And he's like, and this is where I think you're talking about it with Zach. And he's like, yeah, I built this for you. And like, bring whoever you want.
He's starstruck.
Mm-hmm.
He's also talking to a ghost.
So we now get all of a sudden More of them. They chose them, and there's 8 of them now. They're all coming, and they're all practicing.
It's the 8 Black Sox.
Yeah, and so
Is the one Black Sox also Babe Ruth in the Sandlot? Like the first
oh,
baseman
he
guy?
might be.
Is that the same guy?
I think it is.
Now
the
that you
same
say
guy.
that, I think it
Or
is.
he's
Yeah.
like, what does he say?
The pitcher in this movie,
My jersey
No,
still
not
fits.
not the pitcher.
not the pitcher.
It's the first baseman, I
First
think.
baseman.
Oh,
He's like,
okay.
my jersey still fits. I quit smoking.
Well, I haven't smoked a cigarette in
18 years since I've been dead.
been dead 18 years.
They all know they're dead.
Yes,
Yes,
they
they
do.
do.
They don't
they're
know
dead.
why they're here.
Right.
They have no idea why they're playing baseball. They just want
But
to
they're
play
happy
baseball.
to be. Yeah. So they're again later that summer. His brother-in-law comes over and he's like, Ray, you have to sell this farm. You're not making any money. And his daughter walks in and is like, Dad, the game's starting. So he walks away from this very important conversation to go play baseball.
Yep.
Sure.
As you do.
So Annie and her brother follow him out, and we learn his brother cannot see any of this.
He was the first
He
baseman.
can't-
It was the same
It was the
guy
first
who played.
baseman?
Yeah.
Okay.
Art Lafleur.
So we find out that while his family, the 3 of them, can all see and hear all of this, his brother can't see her anything, and he thinks they're just staring at an empty baseball field. And he's like worried that now this is wearing off on his sister and his niece.
Mm-hmm.
But he says, like, no, we're not selling
I
it.
feel like you think this guy's a babyface.
I haven't decided.
Okay, all right.
He's played by a great actor. The guy that played Danny Kincannon in The West Wing.
Oh,
never seen it.
Timothy Busfield.
Yes.
Busfield.
So he's like, listen, I don't know what's going on here, but if you don't sell, you are going to go bankrupt.
I am good at business. You need to listen to me.
Yeah, he's good at business. So now we're back in the cornfield, and he hears the voice again. This time it's saying, ease his pain. It's like, what is he talking about?
That's Ed Harris. Holy shit.
And he like says to his wife, he talked to me again. I heard the voice. She's like, what's he saying? So he says, ease his pain. She's like, whose pain? What pain? He's like, he didn't tell me. This is not very helpful. So we then go to a school board meeting where they're trying to ban books, which is crazy because this is 1989, and now 33 years later, they're banning books all over the country.
I was
Yeah.
like, this is so topical.
Yep. But they want to ban Terrence Mann, who I Googled to make sure was, in fact, a fictional author.
And he was.
Apparently, it was based on who's
J.D.
the
Salinger.
Yeah, that you
Yeah.
hate. Yeah.
Which, by the way, The Catcher in the Rye is the worst fucking book.
I remember not thinking that. when
It
I
was
read
terrible.
I
enjoying
remember
it.
reading it, but I remember not enjoying it because I had to read it for school, so I don't know
Yes.
if it was good or not.
I read it recently
I'd be
for
willing
the
to read it
first
to my
time,
parents.
and it was fucking
It's
terrible.
upstairs at my parents' house. I could probably find it and read it.
Hmm.
So they're arguing, and his wife goes on this big speech where she calls out the dumb lady who wants to ban books and basically wins over the crowd. And she's all pumped up like it's the 60s again. And he has like another vision, and he basically says, I need to go visit Terrence Mann, and that's what this is about. I have to go talk to Terrence Mann. So they kind of get into like an argument about it for a couple of days.
I like how she like celebrates kicking the shit out of
Yeah.
Beulah
Yeah.
too.
She also threatens
she's a little
to actually
crazy.
take her outside and fight her.
She's a little crazy.
I'm not gonna do anything crazy. I'm not gonna do anything. I will fight you. She's great.
So he starts researching Terrence Mann.
Amy Madigan is her.
Amy
is the
Madigan's
actress's
very good,
name.
yeah.
Still working in Hollywood.
He researches and finds out that Terrence Mann loved baseball, used to write about it. Now he's just a shut-in somewhere in Boston. I need to go find him. And she's saying, like, you can't. We don't have any money. You can't drive to Boston. But then they discover they have the same dream about going to Fenway Park. So now he's got to go. Which, I mean, I think we can agree everyone dreams about going to Fenway Park. I don't know. That's weird.
It's-
Is this why you're connected to this movie? 'Cause of
It's
the Fenway
weird
Park thing?
that they know what the author looks like, right? Like,
Yeah. Apparently they
no.
love him. But
No, they know who he is because he used to be an activist as well. So he was like in
Okay.
the papers and stuff.
okay, all right, that's
Because when he talks about like, I'm tired now, I'm sick of fighting this shit. It's never gonna
'Cause-
stop.
there's not many authors that I know what they look like.
I don't know if there's
J.K.
any-
Rowling being one,
Oh.
Yeah.
and then Neil
'cause she's a
Gaiman
turf or
being
whatever people
another one,
Yeah, but
and that's only because he's got crazy ass hair.
also
Who's
he's,
this?
He's
Neil
out,
Gaiman.
He's out
I don't
in
know
the
who that
public.
is.
He's a sci-fi writer. He wrote
Yeah.
Sandman. Is that it?
He did write that
He wrote
more.
More fantasy.
I don't know.
He's a good writer.
No, I know what George R. R. Martin looks like.
Sure.
Hmm.
He's out there talking. That's
He is.
right.
He is out there.
Instead of writing another goddamn book, George.
That might be it. I don't know
George.
if I know anybody else.
Damn it, George.
But I think the reason is this guy was like part of like the civil rights
60s,
movement
yeah.
and stuff. That's why they know who he is.
Okay.
So he's gonna go visit Terrence, and he says like, listen, he used to write about how he wanted to play at Ebbets Field, so that's his other connection to him. So he goes to Boston. He like ends up tracking him down, knocks on his door, and gets the door slammed in his face. He just says like, get out of here. I don't do autographs. I don't do interviews. Leave me alone.
Mm-hmm.
So he goes back and knocks on the door again, and like shoves his way into the apartment, breaks into the apartment basically. Terrence repeatedly says like, get out of here. So they talk a little bit, and he says like, yeah, you know, in the 60s I used to love you, this and that. And he's like, oh. So he sprays him with patchouli perfume
Yeah.
as though he were Wreck the Model Martel.
Yes, right. The model Martel's what was his stuff called again?
Oh, yeah.
Arrogance.
Arrogance, yeah.
Arrogance.
Sprays him, tells him to get out. He then comes back in.
Well, you missed a cool mountain.
What's the quote?
Oh, yeah.
You're missing a cool mountain here.
Peace, love, and dope.
Peace, love, dope. Get the fuck out of here, basically.
So he comes back in, puts his hand in his pocket as though he has a gun, and says like, I'm kidnapping you.
Great. Pull the gun
James Earl
out.
Jones like, that's your hand. He's like, no, it's not. So he picks up a pipe and he's like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm gonna beat you to death with this pipe.
I like how he goes, you're not going to hit me. You're a pacifist. And James Earl Jones looks at the pipe and looks at him and goes, ah, shit. Throws the pipe down like, you forgot.
I forgot I don't like
I
violence.
don't like violence. I really wanted to beat you up with this.
So he talks him into going to a baseball game at Fenway. I'll buy you a beer and a hot dog, whatever. So they
I
go.
mean,
and
if
they do.
someone broke into your apartment right now and said, I've got to kidnap you and take you to Fenway Park where I buy you a hot dog and a beer, 99% chance you're like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm
I
in.
can't wait
Yeah.
till we get to the hot dog and beer thing. But we will get there.
So they get to the ballpark and they buy a hot dog and beer.
We got there.
And Kevin Costner goes, we'll have two. They say $7 for 2 hot dogs and 2 beers at
At Fenway Park.
It's
at a ba-
1989.
That is ridiculous. You can't get one beer for $7.
My guess
out
is
of anywhere
that-
nowadays.
That same order at Fenway right now would cost,
$27.
I'm thinking
30,
$34.
30 something probably.
Jeez.
$5 a hot dog plus $12 a beer, maybe.
Yeah.
Easy 12.
Fucking
It was $12
crazy.
a beer last time I was in Fenway, I think.
Yep.
So that was 5 or 6 years ago now.
So they're watching the game. He's keeping score like a real baseball nerd,
Yep.
Love it.
which I used to do. I don't know if I would still remember how to.
I love seeing those old guys keeping score at like Valley Cats. Like, what are you doing?
I don't think I ever.
You know people
I
do
learned how
this,
to do it
right?
in Little League,
Yeah, no.
but I don't know if I used to know how to do basketball and baseball. I don't know if I could do either one. anymore.
Basketball's a little easier, though, I feel.
I mean, they're both roughly the same amount of easy.
Huh.
Baseball, it's all in order, so it's not.
yeah, but like, yeah, I don't think I've ever tried it, so.
So while they're watching it, he sees a vision on the board. It says like Moonlight Graham, Archie Moonlight Graham, 1 game played, 0 at bats. And then in Fenway, he hears the voice again, and I believe now it says "Go the distance."
Yes.
Go the distance. So he's like, we gotta go. And right away, Terrence Mann's like, you had a vision, didn't you? He's like, I'll bring you home now. He goes to drop him off, and Terrence Mann and James Earl Jones keeps going like, what did you see? And what did it tell you? And he's like, it told me to leave you alone, like let you get back to life or whatever.
It told me to give you your privacy that you so want.
Yep.
So he was like, I need you to bring me to this game so I can see the sign, but really it doesn't have anything to do with you, Terrence, man. So you can go home now.
Yep. So he plays it off like nothing's happening. He goes to turn his car around, and all of a sudden, Terrence is now standing in front of his car and basically admits that he also saw and heard this. So he's like in on whatever's going on. Still doesn't know what it is, but now he's like invested. So they start doing a little bit of research, find out that this was a real baseball player, which Moonlight Graham actually was a baseball player who
Yep.
had 1 game played, 0 at bats.
Yep.
That part's true.
Wow.
In a few scenes, we see people talking about him. These are people who actually knew the real
Which is crazy.
Doc Graham.
He didn't right at that moment quit baseball. He played in the minors for a couple more years.
Yeah, yeah.
But he actually is a real player. So they find out he's from Chisholm, Minnesota, where I thought about doing a second game, but I won't do
another population game for Chisholm, Minnesota.
So they go to, yes, as you said, Wally, the people that they talked to in Chisholm actually drove from Minnesota to Iowa
Yeah.
so they could be in the scene. They check the local office for the office for the local paper, and they go in and they start doing research, but they find out very quickly, oh yeah, he's dead. He'd been dead since 1972.
Yep.
So they're not sure what to do, so they just basically go to the hotel.
Another sad fact: the lady in the library here,
Yeah.
she died before the movie was released.
Oh no.
Yeah, so like within months of filming the scene, she passed away, which is pretty sad.
There's a fun scene where she reads like something like an obituary she had written or something, and James Earl Jones is like, "You're a good writer." He's like, "So are you." And at this point, he hadn't admitted who he was, but she knew.
Yeah.
So they're not sure what to do, so they go back to the motel room, just wondering what to happen, or what to do next. And they're on TV. All of a sudden, we see that James Earl Jones, Terrence Mann, is disappeared.
He's missing.
He's missing.
His father tried to call him multiple times.
His son, but yes.
Or right, yeah.
So he's like, "All right, I got to call my son." And Kevin Costner says, like, "Do you want me to leave?" And it's like, "Okay, I'm gonna go for a walk." And Terrence says, like, "I don't even know what to tell him." Now, Ryan, you have a theory about what happens right here.
Yeah, so the first time I saw this movie, we're going to get to the end.
Yes.
Where he gets invited to join the Cornfield Boys. But as I was watching this again, for, the second or third time, all the way through, I'm like, wait, was this guy dead the whole movie?
Which I hadn't even given thought
Was
to.
he a ghost the whole movie? Where does he become a ghost? Because
I thought later.
I think it's right here.
Because he talks to this lady.
And then I
So
don't think he
I would-
talks to anybody else after
He
this.
never talks to anybody else, I don't think, again.
But Kevin
other
Costner
than
doesn't know?
Costner and his family are the only people that he talks to. Even the brother, I don't think, talks to him.
So we'll
to
at
go
least
back.
table that. But is
Yeah,
he
but-
dead right now?
He might be dead for
Yeah.
most of this movie. Some people think he's dead longer than this moment.
And that's why he's disappeared from
And
public
that's
life?
why he's been disappeared, and that's why he knows he's dead. He can't answer. And it's like his whole attitude sort of changes from like grumpy asshole, and then he goes to Fenway and he's like totally invested in this whole thing now,
Yeah.
and he's not worried about any of his. As soon as he goes to Fenway, he's like a different person.
But if you had a vision like that, I imagine that would change things.
I
And also,
suppose.
it seems like he's well enough off and just wants to be left alone. So he probably doesn't have a ton going on that he has to worry about.
Yeah.
Right. It's just like something more is at play. Seems like it's at
Yes.
play here, and
So,
yeah,
well, he's on the phone with
because
his...
he's clearly dead by the end. Otherwise, he couldn't go.
I
into the
think
cornfield.
that we watch him die later. But, so he goes... Anyways, he's in the hotel. Ray goes for a walk. And all of a sudden, he realizes, like, somehow, like, things have transformed. And he's in, like, the 1972 now. He checks it on a license plate.
The Godfather just opened on the movie theater
yeah,
marquee.
Yep.
He runs into a guy, and he finds out it's Archie Graham, Dr. Archie Graham.
Played by very famous actor Burt Lancaster.
Apparently, he didn't want to do it. He had to get like talked into it.
Really?
Yeah. One of his friends like read the script or something. Was like, "You really got to do this, man."
Yeah.
And he's really fucking good.
Yeah.
But Burt Lancaster from a million fucking movies.
Name one.
From Here to Eternity.
Nope, never heard of
The
it.
Sweet Smell of Success.
Nope.
I mean, he's done a million movies. Rachel, my wife, probably knows every single
I'm
movie.
sure of that.
Well, she knows every movie. So.
Right.
So he finds out it is actually the guy he's been looking for, except now he's an old man and he's a doctor. And we have already learned about how he was a great doctor. Everybody loved him. He loved to buy hats for his wife, yada, 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 from like when they were interviewing people before. So Dr. Graham says like, "Here, walk with me, like come with me." And they talk about baseball, and he says like, "I had the one game and it just didn't happen. I didn't want to like waste more time. Came home, became a doctor, and basically 'cause I don't regret it at all. I'd rather save lives than hit baseballs. And I didn't want to just dig through the minor leagues for many more years, even though in real life that's what he did. So Ray says, well, and he says, do you have like a dream? Like, what would you do? And he says, I would love to stand down from a major league pitcher and right before he goes to deliver, wink at him. Like, I know something he doesn't know. And then I want to hit a triple and dive and hug third base, basically.
Stretch a double into a triple.
And he, like, you can see him get nostalgic. So Ray says, I can take you to a place where you do that. And he basically says, like, nah, I'm good.
I got to get home to my wife.
Yeah.
My wife's waiting for me.
She's going to think I got a girlfriend.
Yep. So he,
I love that.
Good
and
jokes.
so
Got jokes.
Ray, like, says goodnight, goes back, talks to James Earl Jones and says, this is what happened. I don't know what to do now. I don't know why we're here.
Mm-hmm.
So they decide the next day, he's like, all right, tomorrow morning I'll bring you back to Boston. And he says, no, I'm coming to Iowa with you. I want to see this field. I want to see what the hell is happening. So they go to drive back. And on their way, there's a guy hitchhiking, and he says, like, I need all the karma I can get right now. So they pull over, and it's this young kid, and he's very excited. Kind of an older, not old-timey, but older clothes and stuff. It says, like, yeah, I'm in the minors. I'm just looking for a place that I can get on a team and play. Mm-hmm. And they start talking to him, and they realize that he introduces himself as Archie Graham. So somehow he is the same guy they talked to before, except he's younger.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is where I question again. Does he know? Does the person that he talked to the night before and this kid, they're the same person? Is there continuity here?
I feel like the old guy probably knows that he's dead. I don't think this kid knows that he's dead.
Because later, though, he does. He seems to know when he's a baseball player.
Yeah, like when he's about to go,
right,
like save the girl.
It's odd.
It's odd.
It's
So,
like,
but right now, it seems
I'm
like he
actually
doesn't
dead.
know, and he's actually just looking for a place to play ball.
Yeah.
But so they pick him up, and they say, like, we got a place for you. Bring him back to the farm, and they basically drop him right into the game. Like, here you go. Go suit up. And they're talking, and at this point they get back, and there's a lot of baseball players now. And Shoeless Joe says, like, we got sick of just practicing, and there was a lot of guys. So I hope you don't mind, but we like playing real games now. And then he makes the joke about Ty Cobb.
Yep.
Cobb wanted to play, but everybody thought he was an asshole, so we didn't let him.
Great.
And then this again, he clearly knows something because he looks at this strange kid that's with him and goes, "Are you Graham? Let's go. Get ready."
Yeah.
So clearly he's waiting on this guy to show up. So they go, and sure enough, he comes up to the plate, and the batter he gets in the box, and he looks like a child, and he winks at the pitcher, and the pitcher throws one at his head.
Love it.
And he ducks, and he goes like, and one of the players on his team goes, "Why are you throwing at the kid? He winked at me." And the old
Kid,
guy goes,
don't wink at him.
"Don't wink at him."
What are you doing?
And then he throws at him a second time. So Shoeless Joe like calls him over. And he's like, "All right, he's throwing high and inside. So what do you think he's gonna do now?" He's like, "Low and outside, or in my ear." And Shoeless Joe's like, "Look for the outside pitch,
And watch out for
but watch out for your ear."
Yeah, but be careful.
And so he gets a hit, and now he's like, he's playing.
He gets
part
a
of the-
sack fly.
Sack fly, yep.
Yep.
Sack fly, which he's very excited about.
Yep. So now they got a real game going. The family's watching. Terrence is watching with them, and his brother-in-law shows up, walks straight across the field in the middle of the game. All the possibly ghosts are going like, "Who is this schmuck? Like, what are you doing?"
Did we talk about Terrence Mann? Where they're like, "Oh, we're gonna go back to Boston," and Terrence Mann's like, "No, I'm going to see that
He's
field.
like, "I want to go.
Oh, yeah,
I'm going
yeah.
with you. I want to
Yeah,
like
I
see
want to
this
go.
through."
I don't need to go back home. I'm already dead."
So he comes over and he starts arguing. He's like, "You are bankrupt. You're ruining my sister's life.
You're bad at business.
You're bad at business." And as they're arguing, his daughter has already said, like, "No, this is good. People will pay to play this
The little kid always
or to
has
see this." Yeah, she's always like,
the knowledge.
"This is gonna be good. Like, this is a good thing."
We're gonna exploit everybody.
Yeah,
$20 to get in.
because then Terrence says, like, people will just show up and not know why they're here,
But this
but they'll
is
want to look around, and you'll say it's only $20 to do so, and they'll hand it over without even thinking.
But this is where he's just talking to Ray. not the brother.
Yeah. The brother keeps interjecting everyone, like,
Like as if he doesn't know Terrence Mann's talking.
yeah.
Or he's trying to talk over him, but yeah. So they're arguing about it, and the little girl falls off the bench, and
He grabs her by the face and
And
then
knocks
shakes
her
her,
over.
which Kevin Costner obviously does not like. So he like starts, and they throw her off the fucking bleachers.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and she appears to be dead.
Yeah,
She's not moving. She's
not choking.
Took a hell of a bump.
so she's on the ground. The brother is like, "Oh, gosh, shouldn't have done that." Goes to run off and get help, and good dad Ray goes, "Nah, don't get help."
We don't need it.
At this point, Moonlight Graham is on the field, kind of looks over, and this is where he clearly knows something, even though he's just this kid.
Right.
He like
His spirit now
something
knows.
hits him, and he knows. So he goes running over. He gets to the edge where he knows there's no turning back, and as he steps off the field, he transforms back into what's his name?
Old Archie.
Burt Lancaster.
Burt Lancaster, Moonlight Graham,
Oh,
the
yeah,
doctor.
Yeah.
He comes over and goes like, "Oh," and pats her on the back. He's like, "She's choking." Pats her on the back, spits up a hot dog. She's fine.
Just a hot dog.
Which she was not choking. She was dead.
Yeah.
She was not moving. Her eyes were
she has
closed.
a broken
She
back.
wasn't trying to cough anything up.
At this point, though, he's there and he's a hero, but Ray realizes, like, "Oh, no, you can't go back, can you?" And he says, like, "Don't worry about it. Like, thank you for giving me this opportunity. I'm going to go home to my wife now," basically.
He just wanted that one at bat.
Otherwise, she's gonna think I got a girlfriend.
Says it
Yep.
again.
Yes,
Yeah.
he did.
And he winks too.
Mm-hmm.
So as he goes to walk through the field, now all the players have turned to him, and now they're all, and this is what I mean. What do they know? Because he was this kid, and now they're like, "Hey, good job, Doc."
Yeah.
And they're all like giving him a lot of respect, and he's the
You were good. That's what Shoeless Joe says. You were
Yeah,
good.
Hey, rookie, you were good.
Mhm.
But as he's the old man walking off, they all give him like huge respect for saving the girl, and they're like not weirded out that he like. So they know something here. So at this point,
wait. Mark does at one point talk to Terrence Mann because he goes, "And who's this?" And Ray says, "That's Terrence Mann." He goes, "Hi, how are you doing? I'm the Easter Bunny." So he's still alive.
Maybe.
maybe,
or maybe-
because this is also the scene though where
But
he sees the players.
He does eventually see the players.
Yes, but this happened
I
before.
I tend to think he is alive myself.
Yeah.
So at this point, though, when all this happens, the brother-in-law is like, "Who is that? Also, where did these baseball players come from?"
Yep, so
And
now we
now
can
he can
see.
see everything. And now he's decided, oh, this actually is a good business opportunity. You can
Can't
keep
sell
the
this
farm,
farm.
if you actually monetize it.
Yeah.
You can't sell this farm. So at the end of the day, at the end of the game, the players all start heading for the corn stalks in the outfield. Shoeless Joe's about to, and he turns around and he says to Terrence Mann, "Hey, do you want to come with us?" And he gets very excited, like, "I want to check this out." And then Ray, like a child, is like, "But I want to go." And Shoeless Joe's like,
You
no,
can't.
I don't think you want to.
You're not invited.
You don't think you want to be dead. And he's like, "I want to go." And Terrence is like, "You have to stay here and raise your kid."
Yeah.
And he's like, "All right,
He
but if
does
you're
say.
going."
He says you need to take care of this family.
Yeah,
He does say that.
He does. And then Ray says to him, like, "All right, wherever you're going, I want a full report as to what's going on." He's like, "Okay." And so James Earl Jones walks to the cornfield with Shoeless Joe, and he also just disappears.
Yeah.
And I think we watch him die there. I think that's the end for him.
He gets to the
gets-
cornfield and first he says he's going to write again, which he
Yeah.
said he would never do.
Yeah, he's going to write
So
about this.
I'm going to write again. I'm going to write about this, and it's like, okay, there's no way he's going to be alive, but okay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think. And then he looks. I like the part where he looks into the cornfield. And he looks like peeks in, and he's like, yeah. He like laughs because he sees heaven.
He sees something.
I'm guessing
So he is taking
he's dead.
body and soul.
He's
so
dead here.
He's assumed.
He is Jesus Christ
Or the Virgin Mary.
or the Virgin Mary.
Oh,
Yeah.
is that what it is? Okay.
Also, we didn't say this, but several times throughout the movie, people say, "Is this heaven?"
Mm-hmm.
He says,
Iowa.
"This is Iowa."
It's Iowa.
This is Iowa.
So, at this point, do we agree that James Earl Jones is dead?
He definitely
for sure
dies.
right here.
Okay.
For sure right here.
He
he's
definitely
dead.
dies.
Shoeless Joe's about to walk in himself, and then he says, like, "Hey Ray, if you build it, he will come." And there's just a single catcher standing like by home plate, and then he disappears.
Well, he also says, ease his pain was about you,
Yeah,
Ray, not about anybody else.
it's about you. Ease your pain, basically. So he goes over, and he very quickly Ray recognizes it's his father, John, who played minor league baseball, as we knew from earlier in the movie. His wife is like, "Hey, maybe you should go like talk to him."
He introduces himself to everybody.
And he introduces them. This is my wife, and this is my daughter, Karen.
He never met his wife.
Yep. And so she's excited to meet him as well. He doesn't at this point say this is your granddaughter. He introduces him as this is John. And at this point, it seems like his dad doesn't know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit, yeah.
And then, so they like have a little chat about baseball, and his father's about to head off into the outfield, like to disappear with everybody else. And Ray says, "Hey, Dad, do you want to have a catch?" And that's when he's like, "Yeah, I'd like that." And now he knows clearly, like, this is my son. So again, what and when do these players seem to know things?
I don't know, but man, it gets you in the feels.
I got to tell you what, I had more feels when Moonlight was walking off getting daps from the players than I did for father and son.
Bunch of
When
feels.
he was walking through and all the adults, all the old men were going like, "You did a good job.
Yeah.
Thanks, Doc."
Yeah.
That's when I had more feels.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so they're playing catch, and as they do, we pan out and we see a long line of cars approaching the baseball field, and it's just people coming to watch the game the way that,
Immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
even though the game's over, they just want come back tomorrow.
It's like, yeah, you're not going to be able to see anything. And they're going to be able to see ghosts, apparently.
Apparently, yeah.
Very bizarre.
So it's a weird ending. I don't know. I liked it. It wasn't.
Great.
It didn't
Love
hit
it.
as high a note as I thought it was gonna, but it was
Love
still
it.
a very good movie.
All right, it's time for stats and goofs. First off, I'm going to start with a stat. There are two very famous extras in this movie.
Oh, I read
Did
this.
you
but I
see
forget
this?
who. Yeah. Yeah.
You
Matt
both saw it.
Damon and
In Fenway
Matt
Park.
Damon and Ben Affleck.
A fleck.
Yep.
Yes.
We're both in the Fenway Park scene.
Because of fucking course they were.
And I looked it up to see if that was correct, and it was. Matt Damon was 17, and Ben Affleck was 16.
A fleck apparently
And it really did happen.
was working on another movie with one of the people who worked on this. He's like, "Oh, it's good to work with you again." And the guy's like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" He's like, "Oh, well, I was an extra in Field of Dreams in the Boston Red Sox game."
That's
Fucking hate
exactly
Ben
how he
Affleck.
sounds.
Yeah, pretty good.
Exactly it. The goof part of it, you'll like this one, Bill. In the opening montage, when they show Ray graduate high school in the 1960s, or graduate college, I'm sorry, in the 1960s, he's wearing a shirt that has Spam on it, which was not introduced until 1987.
Yeah.
There's a lot of weird.
Spam. The license plates are off.
Yeah.
I
There's
like,
a lot of weird, like
The one that-
his timeline of his life
Yeah.
doesn't make
Yeah.
sense at all.
Yeah.
The one that
right.
I liked was that Shoeless Joe was left-handed
Yeah.
and Ray Liotta's right.
Yeah.
And then what I like about it though is people have called Ray Liotta out, like, "Hey, you were batting the wrong way," and his response was like, "Yeah, baseball players also didn't actually come back to life."
Oh, Ray.
The other one was that Shoeless batted left but threw right, and Ray Liotta's
Does
the
the
opposite.
opposite.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he bats right and throws left, which fuck, I don't understand how you can do that.
Here's one for you, Bill. I think you said this. When Ray first hears the voice, he's in shoulder-length corn with a hoe. No one would ever be walking around in shoulder-length corn with a hoe. If weeding were performed at all, it would be done when the corn was knee-high or waist-high.
I also saw one thing that said the actual corn from the movie, like there was a drought in Iowa, so they were like overwatering it, so it'd be nice for the movie. And apparently they like shot it for all the players and stuff, and then by the time the Kevin Costner got there, or whatever, it was like over his head, so they had to like build a platform to walk into.
Oh, my God. Yep. Okay. Time for Quote Mountain.
I think
A lot
in
of
this,
quotes.
I think it has to be "If you build it, he will come."
I guess, I suppose.
That is the quote from this movie.
It is the quote from this movie, but I like Peace, Love, Dope better.
That is a good one. Yep.
Peace, Love, Dope? Get the fuck out of here. Get the hell out of here.
Get the hell out of here, was it? So what are we going with? Was if you build it, he will come?
I think it has to be for this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
This is one that I forgot about. When he wants to go into the corn and they won't let him. He says, "This is my corn. You people are guests in my corn."
Most valuable player of the movie?
Terrence Mann.
The wife?
The voice?
The voice.
man.
Ooh.
How
old,
about
old
this?
Moonlight? Old Man Moonlight?
Old Man Moonlight, I like.
Oh.
Or Ray Liotta.
Really, Oda?
Pretty good.
Except he played Shoeless Joe as a New Jerseyan
Instead
instead
of
of
a
a
Southerner?
South Carolinian.
Hey, I'm walking here. It's me from South Carolina.
Who do we want to go with?
I'm gonna go with Doc. I
I'm
like
okay with
Doc's storyline.
All
me Doc.
Doc. What the hell was his last
it.
name?
Moonlight Graham.
Graham.
Doc Graham. Give me Doc
Archie.
Graham.
Dr. Archie Moonlight Graham.
He had the best stuff. Which is crazy that he didn't want to do this movie because it's great.
Yeah.
This part is great.
I don't know if it was someone else read it or they're like, it's a baseball movie, but one of his friends said to be like, please do this movie.
Do this. Okay. Final verdict score.
7?
I'm saying 8.2. You really didn't like this.
No, not really.
Wow.
What do you say?
I didn't like you said with the father son catch at the end. I know everybody's like, oh, it's the best. It's like, no, like there's
I
not that
I
much
enjoyed it.
emotion there.
I enjoyed it.
It felt like all over the place. Didn't really make sense why he had to go. Yeah.
So what would you say?
It's better than.
So you have
Definitely
other
better
movies
than
in front
that.
of you.
It's better than that. It's.
We're just shooting from the
Nah,
hip. You got scores.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say 6.7
Wow.
And I
because
said
6.8 is Little Giants.
That's way better than
It's not way better, but it's
It's
better than
way
that.
better
What
than
did we say Silent was? It's worse than that.
8.5 was Sandlot. Mighty Ducks was 7.2.
that. Okay, 8.5 Sandlot, 8
This might be better than Mighty Ducks.
8.2. It makes sense for me.
Well, do we have to go with in between then? If you say it's a low or a medium 6 and you said low 8,
What's the median score then? If you low it, if
And I
you-
say
you
7?
Go with the math.
what
I
do we
think
say?
7. Point,
8.2.
what are you saying? You're saying 8.2.
What's the median between 8.2, whatever you said, 7 point whatever,
8.2. I said 7.0. And what did you say, Wally? 6 point.
8.
Yeah.
Median score is? You can't do this in your head?
Not anymore. I used to be able to, but drugs and alcohol have ruined my life.
Or not?
Or not.
Bill, what was the one you said?
I've got 7.3333333.
7.3?
7.3.
Okay.
Fine.
Okay.
It's better than
So that
Mighty
slots
Ducks.
in behind Mighty Ducks?
that. No, it's second place. It is behind Sandlot only.
In my own personal rankings, that's about right.
Yeah, I have it. I had it slightly under Sandlot, I guess. But okay, it's time to spin the wheel. Are we ready to
It's your
spin the
turn.
wheel?
Are you spinning the wheel? and
It's
making
my
it go?
turn. You got to spin a wheel for me,
Yep.
and I got to figure out what the hell I'm
I just
watching.
gotta remember where it is.
I got to figure out what the hell am I watching at this point.
Baseball.
We've
Let's just
got-
only do baseball.
If it's baseball again, you know what we're watching. If it's baseball again, and then in a year from now, watch it again,
Yep.
and then we'll just watch it every year until we're done doing this.
It is football. We got a football movie.
All right, give me a second.
Foosball.
When last I was looking at stuff, I had 2 footballs. One that I wanted to watch because I was curious, and one that I want to watch because I like it.
I currently have. Oh shoot! I gotta update a.
I have not
gotta
made
get
a
new-
list. I
I
probably
gotta
should
get-
write them
yeah.
down.
I gotta get a new
Oh.
basketball movie, but
You want to cry?
Do you want a man?
You want to cry watching a football movie? I'm not gonna make you do it. Let's see.
Varsity Blues. Is that what you
No,
were going
I
with?
can't do that. That's a Bill movie.
Billy Bob cried. 'Cause Billy Bob cries.
What's my favorite football movie? You know what?
The Adam Sandler one that we
You know
already
what?
watched.
You know what? We've been talking about this for a while. Been talking about.
Radio.
Okay, we got it's available. We've been talking about this for a while.
Radio.
No, this dates way back.
Okay.
We're gonna do the Replacements.
Hey.
We've been talking about the Replacements for
Did
a
we ever watch
long
that?
time. No, we didn't.
Okay.
Replacements is on HBO Max if you want
Okay.
to watch
Keanu
along.
Reeves. Reeves
Keanu,
vehicle.
Gene Hackman.
Mm-hmm.
Who else is in this?
Make 7 Up yours guy.
Orlando Jones. That's his name.
Uh
John Favreau.
oh yeah, John
In this
Favreau.
movie?
Favreau's in
He
this?
sure
Yep.
is. Yeah.
John Favreau's in this movie.
As what?
Guess
The
what?
linebacker.
Art LaFleur is in
Yes.
this movie.
I remember him more than he's the other coach. Like he's the assistant coach.
Art LaFleur is Babe Ruth / first baseman
okay. Yeah.
of the Black Sox,
Um,
now in this movie as well.
One of my
He's a
fantasy
showman.
football team names is Shane Falco is my backup because I don't have a backup quarterback in that league. So.
Nice. John Madden's in this movie. I
Just
forgot
like the
about
real
that.
Dallas Cowboys, no second string quarterback.
David Denman.
Why
Why do
you
I
gotta do
know
me
him?
like
Oh,
that?
David Denman from The Office.
Why does Jerry Jones still GM the team? David who?
David Denman, who was, I believe, in The Office as Pam's Roy.
Oh, Roy.
Roy.
Yeah, he's the deaf tight end.
Oh yeah.
Roy's in this.
Yeah.
The Replacements is the movie we're going to watch. I'm excited
Coach, I
to
look
watch
like I
it.
jerked off the elephant. That's
I
Quote
remember
Mountain.
loving this
That's
movie.
Quote Mountain for me.
I remember enjoying it. It is a good movie. I don't think it's that good, but it's good. It's enjoyable.
What team does he play for? Does he play for Dallas?
No. Washington.
The Washington.
The Washington
Commanders?
football team?
The Washington
Perhaps?
unprofessional
I don't
football
think
team.
I don't think they used that racist name in the movie.
I'm sure they didn't use
no,
any
they
real
definitely
names
didn't.
in this movie.
They sure did not.
They-
Okay.
no, they just go by city name. That's
Yeah.
what they did. Yeah.
They played Dallas in the final or something,
Yeah.
right?
Is the cheerleader, is she a famous person?
I feel like she is, and I always like.
You say that now that I got rid of it after I closed the window.
That's why I waited.
Thanks for waiting. Hold on.
Is
I feel like she's in a lot of 90s movies.
Brooke Langton?
Never heard of her.
No, that can't be.
I don't know the name at all.
Yeah, that's her. Annabelle Lang. Annabelle is her name?
That doesn't look like her though.
Annabelle Farrell? She...
Friday
Anna
Night
Faris?
Lights.
No, it's not her.
The show. She's in Swingers.
Swingers, that's a good movie.
I don't believe I've ever seen it. Oh, wait, is that the one with
Where they like eat at the diner and talk about chicks.
where they play Super Nintendo hockey games?
Yeah.
I've seen parts of it.
What else is she in?
She's in Benchwarmers.
Oh, that's a sports movie.
That is a sport.
There's at least one funny line from it that I remember when I watched part of it on TBS.
She was apparently in Melrose Place for a lot.
I could see her being in Melrose Place.
Baywatch.
We're
Sliders.
digging too far into this. This doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
Yeah.
doesn't
Party
matter.
of 5. Nope, only one episode. Never mind.
She was in all of those.
Yeah.
Everyone. 90210, Party of 5, Baywatch.
Okay.
All right. Replacements. We're finally doing it. It's been multiple years since we've tried to find somebody in there as a wrestler or something, right?
I think we
Probably. I
figured
think so.
one of the big linemen
Somebody's
had to
gotta
be
be.
connected
Yeah.
somehow.
All right. We don't need that rule anymore. So we're doing the replacements finally next time. All right. That's it. We're done. If you build it, Bill will come to your house and take you to a Fenway Park game.
I mean, I don't have anyone really that would just drive to Boston and see a baseball game with me. So that's not.
If it wasn't
Untrue.
baseball, but Fenway is the most important
awesome,
thing.
man.
Yeah.
It's the greenest grass you'll ever see.
I feel like I should.
The
go to
Fenway Frank, though, is
once.
just a regular dog.
I went,
You'll think, like, I should get that because it's Fenway. No, it's just a hot dog. I mean, you still get it, but
Yeah.
took a couple pisses in Fenway.
I've never been to
We went to
Fenway.
the House of Blues and just went to the Fenway Bar a
Well,
couple
yeah.
times.
Fenway Bar is cool. I've seen
Uh,
hockey games in Fenway
2 games.
in a rainstorm. That was weird.
I saw 2 games back to back.
In baseball, I remember
Fenway.
walking out of a game when I was a kid. I think it was the first time I was ever there. My aunt took me, but they were like leaving the 7th inning people. And so I think as I was walking out, I'm 90% sure it was Jose Canseco hitting a home run over the Green Monster.
Wow, that is
Yeah.
the most 90s sentence you could utter.
Yeah. Into the netting that was still there, too.
Oh yeah.
When it was not seats on the Monster, it was just a net.
Now you can't even get a seat up there for like the next 10 years. Okay, that's it. Peace out. We're out of here. See ya.